Hello, welcome back to Lunar Light Wellness Circle. I'm Yolanda, your host, and today I want to talk about 5 things that most people are attached to that keeps them stuck, right? So it's in no particular order, and that's because it's going to be different levels for every one of us. We're all on our own individual journey, so some things are more embedded in one area or another, but they all really kind of go together. So I'm going to go through them briefly, like very quickly, and then talk about how they intertwine and how we can help ourselves detach from attachment to these things in order to really gain a better perspective and get unstuck, right? So number 1 is family, right? And I know a lot of people are going to go crazy because, family is everything and this, that, and the other thing. But you know what? You don't owe anyone anything, right? So just forgiving someone because of their familial relationship to you is super unhealthy, and it's self-sacrificing, right? So just because it's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, it doesn't matter who it is. If they do something to you that harms your spirit and or is just a negative energy in your life on a regular and consistent basis, you are not required to continue to engage with them. You're not. You don't owe anyone your presence. You don't. And that's just the reality of it. So stop. Like, a lot of people are attached to the idea that you must remain loyal to people just because they're your family. And that's just simply not true, especially when it is at your own demise, right? If it's going to harm you, then you don't have to do it. All right, so number 2, acceptance, right? A lot of people are attached to being accepted by other people, by society, by your family, by your friends, by your coworkers, by your fellows at church, by everyone, right? Even just people, strangers, as you walking down the street, you want to be accepted by them. For some odd reason, you're attached to how those people perceive you and how they look at you and how they feel about you when they look at you. 3, religion, right? People are attached to religions. And most times it's not even because it's what they truly believe. It's because of what they've been taught, right? So family, you learn. Well, most of us start our lives by learning and being taught what to believe as far as religion is concerned, right? Or spirituality. I mean, for me, it's all supposed to be spirituality, but religion is, we're not going to get into that whole conversation. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, so people are attached to religion because of how people are going to be perceived. And they also want to be accepted. They want their family to be accepting of them because that's what they were taught, right? So those go hand in hand. 4, material possessions, right? And that goes hand in hand with all of those things too. Most times we learn how to the attachment level to material possessions from family, right? What we didn't have, what we did have, how much of it we had, do we appreciate it, do we not appreciate it? There is a level of attachment that comes to material possessions based on family upbringing and things of that nature, as well as acceptance, right? That's a major part of material possessions, and being attached to them is what you have, or most people in this society, what you have really kind of tells other people where you stand as far as acceptance level, right? So do you have an old beat up car, right? Or are you driving a nice fancy $100,000 coupe or whatever it is? I mean, I don't know, but people are attached to how people see them. So material possessions is what they feel defines them, and also like makes other people feel like they're important instead of feeling important really from the inside out, right? So 5, money. Biggest attachment, right? Most people are more attached to money than anything else on this list. Why? Because money controls most of those things on this list in this society, right? If you don't have money, then you ain't shit. in this society, right? That's what you're taught. That's what you consume through music, through television, through media, through social media even. You know, if you got the fancy stuff on, then, you know, you got a lot of likes and all of that stuff. If you're showing your body and, you know, you got fancy shoes that have red bottoms on it, but you ain't wearing nothing else, then you got a lot of likes, right? I mean, obviously you have to be wearing something because there's no nudity, but you know what I'm saying. You get where I'm going with it. If you don't have, or people are attached to how people see them and their perception of them. So if you have a lot of money, then you have a lot of material things, and then you are now perceived as being on this high level of success or that's at least what you think, right? Or most people are going to see you like that because they all have these same crazy perceptions that society has embedded in our minds, that in order to be successful, and you have to have a whole bunch of money. But that's not true, right? Success is not, in my opinion, is definitely not based on money, because I came from absolutely like nothing, you know? I mean, not like homeless or on the streets, nothing, but I didn't have much, you know, and what I did have, you know, it's just a whole different thing. That's a whole nother video as well. But so in order to detach yourself from the attachment to all of these things, you need to be able to spend time alone with yourself long enough to get rid of the distractions, to figure out really who you are. Like, who are you? Are you the person that needs $3,000 shoes? Or are you the person that doesn't care about shoes and you'd rather be barefoot walking down a dirt road? I mean, are you the person that needs a fancy car? Or do you just need a vehicle to get you from point A to point B in this existence? Are you a person that needs an expensive suit so that you present yourself in a way that is acceptable to other people and them feeling better about you than you do? Because if you can look at yourself in the mirror and the only time that you feel good is when you feel like other people are looking at you in high regard, then you are totally lost. Because you need to be the first person to look at yourself in high regard. You need to know that you are good. You need to know that you are important. You need to know that you are great. You need to know that you are fantastic. You need to know that you are powerful. You need to understand that you are beautiful. You know, you don't need someone else's confirmation. So stop being attached to things that have no purpose. Family does have purpose. Yes, support. But family is not always blood related. And that's just the reality of it. You can have more people that stand by you and support you in ways that you never experienced in life that are not blood related to you. And you will have people that are blood related to you looking at you, laughing at you while you make changes or don't do what they deem to be acceptable. So understand that attachment to things that don't serve you is being attached to things that harm you. You know, I mean, and it's self-sacrificing. You are taking away from yourself by feeding into all these other people's desires and perceptions of you, what you think other people. All of these things on this list have nothing to do with you as a being. The money, the material things, the religion, the family, the acceptance, this is all outside stuff, all outside of you, right? When the main focus should be you, your spirit. People have a misconception that we are human beings and we have spiritual experiences. And that might be the case for some people. They're not necessarily human beings having a spiritual experience. They're just so disconnected from their spirit that when they have a significant spiritual experience, it seems so unbelievable because that's not how you're living daily, right? Once you start to connect with yourself on a daily basis and all you do is embrace yourself and your spirit then your life totally changes. I mean, the way that you see the world changes, the way that you see yourself changes, and every experience is a spiritual experience. I myself completely could do without all of the human experiences, but they're necessary, so I can't do without them. You know, like, you have these moments where I feel like that, because I could definitely deal without all of the negative energy, but without the negative, I wouldn't have the positive, right? I'm learning so many lessons from all of the negative experiences that I've had in the past, and that, you know, whenever anything comes up, it's not really negative to me, because, you know, people are always like, oh, wow, that's a really nice way to think about things. I haven't always, believe me. And anybody who knows me understands that I have not always looked at things in a very loving way, in a like, oh, well, it had to happen, it was a lesson, you know. And even if I did feel like that, I still had so many other things that I needed to work through in order to get to a place where I could talk about it in a positive way, you know, and really just embrace the lesson. So, I mean, I'm not saying these things to you because I feel like, you know, I know everything. It's just that I have had attachments to all of these things. And once you let them go and focus on self, you will thank yourself. You'll thank your spirit, because you'll be reconnected. You know, I have experienced a death for so long, and my rebirth has been, I mean, for me, one for the books, right? Because this is my book. It's my book. It's my life. It's my experience. Well, this one anyway. But anyway, I thank you for joining me today. And I really hope that you get something out of it. I would suggest that, you know, you take some time to meditate on, you know, detaching from these things, right? Meditate on, not the negative though, right? So in order to detach from these things, I would suggest meditating to reconnect with yourself, and then really, really, really attach yourself to connecting with your spirit, right? Your intuition is your spirit. That's your true being. And I think so many of us don't know who we are, because we are so detached from our true selves, which is our spirit, that we don't know the difference. We just latch on to what's popular, what's trendy, instead of like really just connecting to what we want as beings, and going after that, you know. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm new to all of this. So, but anyway, like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Spiritually Guided Cappy 27. I try to drop some gems there. Whatever I get downloaded, I share with as many people as possible, because my lessons are your lessons if you will accept them. All right. Anyway, peace, love, and light. I'll see you guys next time.